Hey everyone, welcome back to HD Reddit Reads. Today's topic is Children of, I want to talk to your manager parents. What has been your most embarrassing experience? Let's get into it. One time, my granddad got a sausage roll at a football match during halftime. When he got back to his seat, he found it was overdone. The pastry was quite burned. The man was irate. He didn't take it back straight away, as for the second half was about to start. But he spent so much of the second half angrily lamenting his savory snack letdown. So, he takes it home, calls the customer service number on the back. I assume he had a few choice words for the poor soul on the other end, but I wasn't present for this, and keeps the remainder of the sausage roll in the freezer for the next couple of weeks. Skip ahead to the next match day. My granddad tells me we're heading out early so he can have his sausage roll replaced. The customer service line told him to go to kiosk 3 at the front of the ground next to the ticket office. When he arrived, however, the shutters are down at the food place. The old man looks around, growling and turning red in the face, stamps right over to window number 3 of the ticket office and slams his frozen burned sausage roll down like an effing flaky gauntlet. At this point, I'm trying to convince him the ticket office was a completely different department than the catering concession, but my granddad was having none of it. The lady working the ticket window continually attempted in vain to convince him the same. They sell match tickets, not hot snacks, but this just got him angrier and angrier. Across comes a colleague behind the glass. Now there's just 2 people to rage at. Then a head steward comes to attempt to defuse the situation, and my granddad begins to wave the burnt sausage roll in the man's face. I was actually surprised he didn't whack him with it. At this point, I'm mortified by the whole affair, wishing I'd just stayed back at the house until near kickoff. Eventually, after an hour or so, the shutters come up on the food concession. Fella at the counter goes, "You must be Mr. Allerginge," and calmly resolves the situation, dispatching a freshly baked sausage roll with the steady hands of a surgeon. My granddad is completely satisfied with the result of this hour of insolent rage. We were walking away as he turns to me and says, "That's how you get things sorted." I was 13 when this happened. My mom had made reservations at a hotel for a trip, but when she got there, the lady said there was some error with the reservation that my mom's payment didn't go through. So the lady offered us a double bedroom for a discount. Rather than just taking the room, thanking the lady, and leaving, my mom decided the best course of action would be to scream in the middle of the hotel lobby, "Nobody's going anywhere till I get my effing room." She then proceeded to pester the lady, who clearly couldn't do anything about it, until eventually she called the police on my mom for public disturbance. Mortifying. Not my parent, but grandparent. When I was around 10 years old, my grandmother went out and got us, her and my brother and me, McDonald's. We got home and we didn't have napkins in the bags. No big deal, right? We have paper towels and napkins in the house. Also, me and my brother are pretty good with not making any messes while we eat. Nope, grandmother got us in the car, drove back to McDonald's, demanded a manager, and screeched about how upset she was that she didn't get any napkins. I wanted to just melt into the floor and disappear. It's just napkins, Nanny. When I was a young child, on a long-distance flight, my mother let me and my brother sleep on the floor. For safety reasons, the flight attendants told my mother that we are not allowed to sleep on the floor. She started to argue with the flight attendants, who then turned to the pilots. The pilots threatened to turn the plane around unless we got up from the floor, but she continued to argue. The pilots announced that they were going to turn around because of my mother, so all the passengers got pissed. Eventually, she caved in when she had all passengers and flight crew on the Boeing 747 against her. I was with my parents on vacation, and the hotel put charges on a bill by accident. My mom marched to the front desk and demanded to see the manager. There was a long line, but she cut right in front of it. The manager wasn't very helpful, probably because she was rude. So, my mom went to all the other customers in line and told them the hotel was a scam and that they're ripping us off with fake charges. She made a scene. The hotel called the police, and we were escorted off the premises by actual cops. I died inside. There really is an art to stuff like this, and your mom obviously doesn't have it. You can be mad, just don't be rude. I remember a time when we were on a Vegas trip with extended family. Cousin was having a super trashy wedding there, and my aunt and uncle booked a room in the Luxor, non-smoking. They were given their room key. It was a smoking room. My aunt was pissed, but with all the fury, she spun up some charm as well, and they were upgraded to one of those rooms that were less rooms and more like 3-bedroom apartments. You gotta not be a dick when you're mad, and people will give you everything to make their mistake go away. Ugh, my dad. He can be such a prick if you get his order wrong. It could be fast food or a nice sit-down restaurant. He often yells at waitstaff if they undercooked his steak. It has to be well done or he claims to have lost his appetite. One time we went to Burger King when I was younger and we sat down to eat. He took one bite of his burger, spit it out immediately, started bitching about it being undercooked. He cut in front of everyone in line to yell at the cashier. Then he asked who was the cook. When the cook appeared, he launched his burger, hitting the poor kid directly in the face with a lidless burger. He's now banned for life from Burger King. My father-in-law hasn't thrown any food at anybody yet, but damn is he concerned about undercooked food. He's convinced that the medium steak shouldn't have any pink, and that the warning at the bottom of your menu about undercooked meat, fish, and eggs is so the kitchen can just run your food through the warm room rather than cooking it, and there's nothing you can do about it. We've tried to explain that the warning is there for people who order meat less than well done, or runny eggs, or sushi, but he's just an effing idiot who thinks he knows everything. Drives me nuts when you go out to breakfast and he wants eggs that are cooked completely through, with no brown bits at the bottom. Like he thinks the overworked cook has time to babysit his eggs. I worked at Best Buy. I stopped in with my mom one day because she wanted to buy me the Star Wars DVD box set for my birthday. I had a huge crush on this girl working at the customer service counter. Well, the DVD set ran up for $10 more than it was priced, and my mom deliberately didn't say anything until after the transaction so that she could claim the effing $5 Michigan scan law bounty. My crush didn't know how to process it, and the manager was busy, so my mom tore into her about how it was her job and how she should understand how to do things. At my job, to a girl I liked. My life was misery for a while afterward. I grew up in a smaller town right on the cusp of its big growth boom. We knew our town had finally made it when we got an Olive Garden. We used to eat there 2 to 3 times a month. My mom and I would always split an entree and my dad would get his own. We knew the rule: if you're splitting an entree and you get more than one of the family style bowls of salad, then you'll get charged an extra $4 for an extra person, which is fair. 2 entrees come with 2 unlimited salads. Well, one day, my dad decides he wanted more salad. Only he wants the additional salad, but the waitress said if she refills the bowl, then we will be charged the extra $4. Well, lo and behold, my parents threw the biggest tantrum because only he wanted the additional salad. They demanded to speak to the manager, and the manager explained the rule, which we knew, but offered to comp the extra salad just to get my parents to stop yelling, and they did. When our bill came, the manager comped my dad's entree and the additional salad fee. Well, my mom got up, interrupted the manager while he was talking to other guests, and threw the check in his face and asked, "What's this?" She was furious that he comped my dad's meal. He ate the meal, therefore he would like to pay for it. She wouldn't stop raising her voice until she was allowed to pay for the meal, but not the salad. The manager was confused, but obliged. When they brought the change, the manager slipped a few free appetizer coupons. My mom ripped them up and threw them on the ground as she left. Safe to say I didn't eat out with them for at least a month, and I refused to go to Olive Garden with them. Scene: any fast food drive-thru. Worker: "Ma'am, can you please drive forward a little bit while your food finishes up?" Mom: "No," folds arms. When I was a manager at McDonald's, I had a guy do this. We had a freak rush on chicken nuggets, like 5 20 pieces in a row. The customer pulls up to the window. The cashier let him know there's going to be another 3 minutes for his nuggets, and did he want to wait or get something else? He demands to speak with the manager. He said he's been waiting for 5 minutes already, and he isn't going to pay or move until his food is ready. I said that I needed him to pay and pull forward in order to clear the drive-thru. He refused and said they'll have to wait. I went to the back window, put a drawer in, and started cashing and giving food out there. 20 minutes later, fuming customer at the front window begins pounding on the window. I open it and he screams at me to know where his food was. I told him he wasn't getting any food. He was blocking my drive-thru and impeding on business, and he needed to leave or I'd be calling the police. It looked like he was about to explode with anger, but he just screeched out of there. It was the most satisfying interaction with an entitled customer I had while working at McDonald's. Years later, I do slightly regret this. I worry I needlessly angered someone to the point where he could have taken it out on someone else, i.e. kids or wife. My dad just loved to argue, and he loved a deal. We were shopping at a department store and I found a pair of pants that I was mildly interested in. The pants were tagged at, let's say, $40, and the sign on the rack was all pants $25. I was mildly interested. I asked the sales clerk if they had them in my size. The clerk said, "Those aren't supposed to be on that rack." My dad lost his shit and insisted I be getting the pants for $25 and started asking for a courtesy discount on top of that. Escalated to the floor manager and the store manager. Meanwhile, I didn't want the pants. They were okay pants, I guess, nothing awesome. I just didn't care very much about them. I was more than happy to move on. I told my dad I didn't want the pants. By then, he didn't care about what I wanted. He wanted the pants at the better price. Eventually, after like an hour of arguing, the store manager said, "We're not giving you the pants at that price. Take them or leave them at $40. So we left, which suited me just fine because I didn't want the pants. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. It'll be greatly appreciated. And if you want to visit the original thread, I'll link it in the description. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.